Hey everybody, it's Christopher, and boy, am I hot. It is hot in this garage. So if you ever try and decide you're going to have a little studio space in your garage, make sure it's not in Texas because it builds up. And I've been fending off a mosquito um, all day while trying to shoot this stuff. But I thought I'd show you my setup today. This is obviously a tentacle, and it's got this little kind of corkscrew handle. Now, the idea behind this is there's a wire going all the way down it, so the wire is not strong enough to make it hold its position, as demonstrated here, but it is strong enough for me to have that bounce and twist and have it retain some shape. I demonstrated this in my last video about my studio setup, so I won't linger on the tentacles. I thought I would just kind of show you. There's not much to this, really. Just this is stuff for later on. This is a little tripod I use for my cell phone. It is cheap, and it keeps falling over. And I recommend if you ever get a tripod for your video setup for a cell phone, spend the money, splurge a little. So anyway, there's an easel here, and this is the magnetic setup that you saw yesterday if you checked out that video. And this is like the extent of my lighting kit and cameras. So this is my old camera, and I actually shot a whole movie on here, The Quantum Terror, on a 7D. I also do not recommend that. If you can get a better camera, do. The whole idea of The Quantum Terror was I'm not going to wait to make a movie. I'm going to get what I can to do it and get it done, and I did exactly that. And The Quantum Terror, in case you're wondering, is I think I talked about that last time as well. We are in post-production. The visual effects are done. The edit is done. And we're working on the music at the moment, and Derek is doing a fantastic job. Derek is also going to be helping me with the website. God bless Derek. That guy just, I would be nowhere without him. We're going to be doing... he's going to be helping me with the website, digitalpracticalfx.com, which I've talked about before. The idea being that you will be able to get creature effects, practical creature effects, not digital assets, but practical video packs, tentacles, mandibles, blood, slime, brains, pulsating bladder effects. What else? There's a whole list of things that we're planning on doing in 4K, because look at this. After ages of messing around with it, I have tilted on its side the Blackmagic Pocket 4K, and oddly enough, I'm shooting on a 28mm lens with a crop factor of 1.9, but this is actually doing really well. Even with this 28mm lens, I'm getting fantastic depth of field at the native ISO of 400. This is a dual native ISO camera, the other being 3800. Anyway, this thing is great. I'm really enjoying it. I've never shot with a cinema camera before. I've always done DSLRs, but I'm never going back to DSLRs. Now this baby here, we're shooting at 60 frames a second at 4K, not 4K raw, because oh my god, this takes up so much space. Just to give you an idea, is a 200 and something card in here. Well, let's check it out. Hold on a second. Let's check out how much space is on this card here. If I can get the darn thing open. Okay, so this is a CFast card, and there is 256 gigabytes on here. And if we turn this baby on, oops, as I mess up my setup, my nice tripod that was a gift. So let's see. I've shot about 2.5 minutes worth of footage here, and this is I have 15 minutes left on this camera. So I'm gonna have to oops, why is it doing that? I'm gonna have to do a little bit of investigation in ways I can get more record time out of this. Thankfully, it has you can plug it straight into power supply and not worry about your battery running out. Hey, you can see my shirt. One of my favorites, The Cure. Anyway, so like I said, not much of a setup. Got an LED here, and I've got a fluorescent here. Why an LED and a fluorescent? Well, it just turned out that the barn doors on this combined with the open light with here got me just kind of lighting I need. And this black background is just fantastic. And what I'm doing is instead of a green screen key, I'm doing a difference mat. I may also do try a Luma mat. I was talking with Clint Carney, who's been giving me some great advice on getting this just right. So these tentacles will have an alpha channel. So you won't be getting tentacles with a black background. You'll be getting them with an alpha channel. So you can just drag and drop them into... so if you haven't watched this before, let me kind of explain what's going on here. So you have a monster movie, and you want to have tentacles in your monster movie, and you want them to be practical effects tentacles. And you want them to be more than just somebody wriggling around a practical effects tentacle at somebody. You don't want to go digital, but you can't afford to have someone like me come in and build a bunch of tentacles for your set. Now, if you've ever worked with, and I'm just using tentacles as an example, but this can apply to other practical effects. And by the way, I'm just really happy with how these turned out. It doesn't really do it justice on the camera, but look, we got all these like nasty like veins going down the, these little pustule type like scabs and that sort of thing. So I got some nice detail. And this is, look at this, kind of like these weird, like I didn't want to do straight up suction cups because that's not really a horror thing. But I did do kind of pseudo suction cups in like a very asymmetrical way that suggests them but doesn't give you your typical, like Ray Harryhausen. Not that I don't love Ray Harryhausen, I do, but quaint kind of tentacle monster. I wanted something veiny and gross. So say you want this on your set. Well, there's a lot to having practical tentacles on your set. So you're dealing with essentially like what I'm dealing with here, which each tentacle has a different function. You don't have tentacles that like do it all. Some tentacles are springy and coily. Some tentacles are animated with rods, and you have to do rod removal. And you have to deal with, the actors and actresses interacting with them and the rods and the puppeteers. So that's more people on set. That's more catering. That's more time to coordinate. You're just a low budget, like micro budget. Maybe you're a student filmmaker. Maybe you're making it out of your house like I did with the Quantum Terror. So, you don't have anybody to build these different tentacles and operate them for you, but you want practical effects tentacles. You don't want digital. Maybe you're not experienced with digital. Maybe you don't know how to use a 3D program, but you do know how to use After Effects or maybe even hit film. So you buy this with a license. You download them, and it comes with a license that says you bought this, and you can use this in any way you see fit. In your movie, for profit, your advertising. Maybe you want tentacles in your Halloween advertisement. Just for a motion graphic, you could even do that. There's all sorts of things that you can do with this. You can make Lovecraftian short films, or maybe you can make, a comedy about, a tentacle monster. Whatever you want to do. Any way you see fit, you bought the license, so you're good to go. So you open it up and you find that there's an alpha channel, there's no background, you drag and drop it in, and then you go, wow, this is cool, I've got tentacles in my movie. How do I integrate them? Well, then you go over to my YouTube channel, and I'm going to have tutorials talking about how I integrate them into a scene and make them look like they're really there, and they are practical effects. So that's going to be at digitalpracticaleffects.com. And that is my plan, like I said. But it won't just be tentacles, there'll be mandibles, like I said, pulsating bladder effects, wounds, weird practical effects, wounds that you can digitally put in, blood splatters, gore, slime, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm planning. And by the way, if you have something that you really wish you had in a film that you think I can create a pack for, that you can buy a license for, it's non-exclusive, so other people may have it, but if you're clever, you can alter them in all sorts of different ways and get something really original each time. Yeah, just leave a comment, or maybe soon I will have an email that I can get you get a message from you on. Anyway, okay, so that's a great way to wrap up a video. Thanks very much for watching. This has been my video vlog. It's my vlog. And leave a comment, hit the bell for notification, like, subscribe, not necessarily in that order, and I'll be back with more. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one.